There has been turmoil over this land area in the Middle East for hundreds of years. Starting in the 19th century, the Zionist movement began in Europe, sparking the idea of creating a Jewish national home. Dr. Nova Robinson is an associate professor of history and international studies at Seattle University.
When we think about the conflict, we often think about it as happening in the confines of the Eastern Mediterranean, but instead the origins of the conflict are much more global.
After World War I, when the Ottoman Empire was defeated, the British took control of the area known as Palestine and promised to establish a Jewish national homeland there. In the 1930s, tension grew between the Zionists and Palestinians, who were mostly Arabs. After the Second World War, the Zionist movement really gained traction.
In 1947, the newly formed United Nations takes up the issue of what to do in Palestine. The British have signaled that they are not interested in maintaining their control over this territory, in large part because of how difficult it is to manage the competing national movements.
The UN's partition plan was poorly received by both Arabs and Jews. In 1948, Britain left and the State of Israel was formed. The Arab-Israeli War immediately began. 1948 is a pivotal year. Both sides remember it very differently.
The Zionists call this war, or the Israelis call this war, the War of National Independence. The Palestinians call this war the Nakba, or the catastrophe. And historians call it the first Arab-Israeli war.
Israel would come out ahead and take possession of nearly all the territory. The West Bank, East Jerusalem, and Gaza Strip would stay controlled by Arabs.
1948 reshapes the borders of the region in ways that we are still living with the legacies of.
In more recent decades, fighting has continued. There have also been numerous peace attempts in the region, including the Oslo Accords in 1993, which meant to lay the groundwork to establish a Palestinian state alongside Israel. That failed in large part because of a power imbalance. The Palestinians didn't have a legitimate government, but were represented by the Palestinian Liberation Organization.
So we have an organization that is not entirely representative of the Palestinian people, negotiating peace with a nation state.
The Palestinian Authority was then established. It was intended to set up self-rule in the Palestinian territories, but Israel remained in control of water, electricity, and other utilities. Hamas was started in 1987. It took over the Gaza Strip in 2006 after Israel withdrew troops from the territory. Hamas is considered a terrorist group by the U.S., UK, and EU. The newest conflict started after an unprovoked deadly attack by Hamas on Israeli citizens on October 7th. Israel has retaliated with severe response towards Gaza.
I think the only way of understanding the conflict and the way it's unfolding today is to recognize the way in which both the Palestinian communities in the region and globally, and the Jewish community in Israel and the Jewish diaspora are shaped by intergenerational trauma. The Palestinians, that trauma of displacement in 48 and the subsequent kind of impoverishment of their communities under Israeli occupation. And for the Jewish community, the atrocities of the Holocaust and the way that that trauma continues to reverberate in the nation state of Israel.
That was just a brief overview of the complicated history. Another thing to note, there have been several wars between Hamas and Israel since 2006. Israel maintains its fight is not against Palestinians, it's against Hamas, whose main objective is a military destruction of Israel. The UN alleges war crimes have happened on both sides.